Hey, welcome. I'm Kendra and I lead data here at Xero. Thanks to COVID, leading data is currently from my home office in sunny Melbourne, where I'm glad to say it is actually gloriously sunny today. At Xero, we want to give every small business owner, every bookkeeper and accountant the tools and support that maybe you might think only big businesses enjoy. And the savvy use of data is really fundamental to that, because it's fundamental to being able to do all of those things at scale. And it's fundamental to Xero's vision. It's fundamental to becoming the most insightful and trusted small business platform. Our approach to building those compelling experiences using data is a really integrated one, which can be quite different from the approaches that some companies might take. Our engineers, our scientists, the human interaction specialists we have, the product people who dream all our beautiful product ideas all the time, all work together in teams at Xero to build those intelligent, data-driven machine learning solutions at scale, and to do what is our intent, which is to remove toil from our customers and to delight them with insight. A really important part of that team at Xero is the gentleman I'm so delighted to be chatting with today, Suny Cheah. Suny leads our global team of applied scientists, and therefore he is right at the pointy end of Xero's expanding ML product play. Welcome, Suny.
Thank you so much for having me, Kendra. Having been with Xero for, I think, just over 19 months, it's been really exciting to be part of the journey that you've, described, and seeing a lot of those things come to life. In particular, I've really loved how, as an organization, we've aligned around the importance of the vision that you've articulated. And even though we're aligned and we're all pulling in the same direction, each person, myself included, is free to explore how they contribute to that mission and figure out how they bring that to life. So it's been really great, and I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, it's something that works, I think, for a lot of the folk that Xero has collected along the journey, is being part of, given the opportunity to be part of something that feels so fundamentally useful. I love knowing that I'm making a difference to the small business community, but I like your point around also we're still small enough that you feel one individual can make a real impact on the whole company, which is kind of a beautiful place to be in your lifetime, in your journey as a company. Suny, I know one thing that some of your colleagues have appreciated, apart from the fact that you're a lovely chap, during all of this COVID craziness, is you actually started off your professional life as a pharmacist. And, we've all been appreciating that as we've been going along, trying to understand, infection curves and vaccine efficiencies and all the rest of it. But pharmacy to machine learning, it's quite a change. What led you here? And what are some of the things that I guess make you think, yep, pharmacist to ML lead at Xero, that was the right journey for me?
Indeed, I have to say that it's probably not what I would recommend as the career path into machine learning, but I think it's something that, it's a set of experiences that I'm really glad that I can tap into in my role here. What led me here? I think I, for the longest time, have just loved figuring things out and getting to the bottom of things. And it's really been a journey of exploration for me through things that I've been curious about. I started off as a clinical pharmacist wanting to help people. And as I worked in pharmacy, I got curious about how drugs came into being, right? And that led me through the drug development process. And eventually, the way, technology, the intersection of drug development and technology is going, that led me to sort of machine learning and simulations in biological sciences. And that's kind of the point at which I made that transition fully into sort of machine learning and technology. And I think, some of the things that really excite me and sort of motivate me and inspire me while I'm here at Xero, having made that transition. I think the first thing is the size of the impact. Xero has millions of customers. It impacts so many lives every day, and I think being able to have that impact and to tangibly improve, that many lives is something that's really special, and really exciting. And there's a certain sort of realness in that impact when a product comes to life. It's not theoretical. It's not academic. It's there, and it's making people's lives better. I think the second thing that really excites me is the pace of innovation. It's relentless, but it's exciting, right? Like there's new technologies in data, machine learning. There's almost a framework a day kind of pace of innovation, and we get to look at that all of that innovation and figure out which ones are worth bringing to our customers, right? Not all of them are going to be worth taking to our customers, right? But some of them are, and the ones that are, we get to pursue. And I think that leads me to my last point. In a lot of organizations, I think there is a temptation to sacrifice rigor for speed. And at Xero, I think it's really unique that there's still an emphasis on being rigorous about the science and the machine learning. Like it still needs to be solid machine learning because we owe it to our customers to understand what it is that we're doing for them and to do it properly and to do it well. And so I think those three things, the impact, the speed, and the rigor are sort of the things that make me look back and go, I've changed, a great deal from pharmacy, but I feel like I've taken the best parts of, a career in the clinic, in academia, and I get to exercise, my scientific mind in a really dynamic environment, and that's really cool. So I think those are the things that really resonate with me.
I think it's so true that we've got such a young field. Like the field of developing ML inside products that touch real people is really such a young field. Compare it to being a doctor, compare it to being a pharmacist, where there is, luckily for all of us, decades and often more than that, years of experience about how to do it well. One of the things I think we are so lucky about in the data space is that it's a little unformed. It's still so new. To your point, it's changing a lot. So people can come into it from really, really different backgrounds. And that is something that I think you were sort of referring to there. And I know you and I have chatted about, and it's part of what makes me love our role and my job is, we have people like you with backgrounds in pharmacy. We have computational linguists. We have an ex-opera singer. We have people with degrees in library science, people who have passions about law and the ethical use of data. But they're all coming together in this space and working really synergistically because you need all of those different aspects of human experience to build good, responsible, dare I say, ethical data products that work really, really well. And it's certainly something that keeps the company and keeps our team fresh, right? Is that broad spectrum of possible views that you can bring in. I know one of the other things, Suny, that is really close to your heart, because we've talked about it a lot, is providing an environment in which you can nurture the next generation of leaders in science and engineering. It can be quite a hothouse. It can be an unpleasant sort of dog-eat-dog community. That isn't you at all, and that isn't Xero, and it isn't what we've developed in the team. So talk to us a bit about that philosophy of yours that drives how you think about nurturing talent and sort of growing the next generation of talent as well.
Absolutely. I think when I joined this mission, I think one of the things that I really set out to do was to think really hard about how we create an environment where, people working in data and machine learning and scientists can really love coming to work. And I think there are probably three elements to our philosophy that I think are worth touching on. I think the first is that we don't subscribe to this notion that people need to prove themselves. I think that's so important, in these highly competitive fields. I think there is a sort of culture that can set in quite quickly of that hothouse, that rate, that relentless race to be better than the next person or the next company. And I think I'm very mindful. I know all the leaders in our team are really mindful of the fact that what's most important for Xero and for our team is that we run our own race, right? In that we deliver the best experiences for our customers, and we do that at the speed and the pace that we can manage. And that's really come through this year in a COVID situation, this year, last year, being really mindful that, of course, we would love to deliver more innovation. We would love to deliver, the best features faster. But that's just not a reality. That's not sustainable. And something that we've really learned to do and embraced as a team and as a leadership team is making sure that we do great things, but we do them sustainably. So I think that first element of not constantly just driving people to prove themselves, I think that's really core. I think the second thing is having a real celebration of how unique and different each person is, right? From how each person develops. So each member of the team sort of can have their own development plan, their own development path, because no two people are different. As you touched on before, everyone comes from such diverse backgrounds, and that means that there are going to be different strengths, and there are going to be different career goals as well. Not everyone wants the same thing in their career. And I think as a leadership group, we've really embraced that. And I think we have a culture where, if you want to grow in management skills, we can sort of focus our attention in that area. If you want to grow technically, we can focus our attentions there. And I think it's so great. I mean, that really resonates with me personally as well, because this idea that we know from the day that we graduate what our career is going to be, my own journey is case in point that that's not true. And I think that leads sort of to that other benefit of celebrating that diversity, which is that each person is empowered to bring that unique background to every challenge and every problem and every product that we're working on. And everyone can bring their best. They can bring their experience, they can bring their knowledge, and they can apply it in all sorts of really exciting ways. And I think that it creates a work environment that, for me, is just incredibly intellectually exciting, being able to see all these perspectives and angles and expertise. And so I think, that this space for nurturing talent is just so exciting, because we have a culture that embraces that growth, but we also have that diversity that allows you to see all the different ways that you can grow and the different things you can learn. So yeah, that's sort of the thing that the areas that I try and focus on in terms of developing our talent.
And that's so interesting, Suny, because for me, if I summarize why Xero gives you that opportunity in that space that you're talking about with all of those lovely ways of working, is age and stage. And it's actually something I talk to a lot and talk about a lot when I'm talking to candidates who are pretty keen to join our team. They're right at the end stage. They're like, Xero, somewhere else. And we actually end up talking about age and stage. We're not a startup. We're not a corporate. We're in that really interesting, challenging mix where we are trying to do things that scale. We are trying to work, we are committed to working really, really responsibly. We're not driving for that, got to make the customer so we can get the next series B, D, F funding, whatever. There's a certain type of person who loves to work in that space where it's not greenfields, but it's a long way from brownfields. It brings its own challenges. I often describe us, and I know you've heard me say this before, as a gangly teenager, where we're finding our feet. But it does give what you've said, that real opportunity to bring your own stamp and put it onto a company, but also sort of impact things at scale. It has been interesting. For 2.5 years of fascination. I get up every morning and I love where I work, and I still want to get up and do it again. It's been cool to be able to share those last 2 years with you, and looking forward to many more. Thank you so much for the time that you've taken to chat about this with us. And I hope that, some folk out there are thinking, Xero sounds interesting.
Thank you so much. It's been great being here, and always lovely to chat with you.